And here we are at the end of an amazing 2023. Yes, 2023 is folding to an end, and on we go with a year that probably will be the most juicy, if I could call it that way, of all the years that have passed. Now, it's very important for each of us, for each company and for each individual, for each member of the community to assess what have you done over 2023? What are the successes? How can you compare it to 2022? And where are you going 2024? And we do the same. We do the same for ourselves and you. And by the way, we're ending 2023, launching something that can allow you in 2024 to impact the community and your ecosystem as well as your economy much more, much better using the knowledge that you have acquired over the time with us at Blocksquare. That's why we launched the ambassadors, the Blocksquare ambassadors, and the regional hubs, which we will talk about today. We'll talk about much of this and much more. We'll talk about how our team have grown, how our economy have grown, new partners, properties that have been launched, tokenized, sold, and what are we going up to in 2024. So stay tuned today with Denis Petrovic and Makram Hani. Dennis, how are you?
Um, Doing great. It was, I would say, it was really good. We took a couple of days off now with Christmas and everything. It was good to spend some time, some quality time with the family. And I'm already kind of feeling um, more energy towards 2024. I know that we'll start the year full of or recharged, I would say, the full team, and I can't wait to for it to start. But today we're here to talk about, the past year and not so much of what's to come, but what kind of just go the two of us go through what happened this year, right? How are you, by the way? How was your
Amazing,
how was
very
your
good,
Christmas?
amazing. An amazing Christmas and coming up to an amazing new year. So
Okay.
let's talk about how good was the year that passed. Uh, Over the year that passed, we've started the year on in my opinion, in a bear market. Yeah, most of this year has been in a bear market. Yet, and there's so much happening all over the world. Yet we've managed to accelerate all through the year, gradually and consistently, and we've managed to do some achievements where today it seems easier. Again, many challenges are still there and many challenges are still to come, but it seems easier today from our colleagues, our team members to sign up new partners and to do things that look like achievements. Why? Because probably we're at a different, in a different stage. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, I would say definitely. We are in a position where I think if I look back a year ago, um, I would not have imagined that we would be at this stage today. I would maybe only wished for it to be at where we are today, and doing this day in day out, you don't see the big step that has been achieved from the whole team, but just looking 1 year ago and now, we're definitely in a position that allows us to do a lot. It allows us to be present on the market in a totally different capacity as 365 days ago. Yeah.
What would you say are our year's highlights? What are the uh, points, the episodes that define our year, our previous year?
Um, there were many things that we announced at the beginning of the year and that we achieved throughout the year. Sometimes we haven't hit, let's say, the timing or the time when we wanted to launch something. We maybe delayed by a bit or something. Those things happen, obviously, but that doesn't mean we haven't gone through with them and actually delivered. And I think that kind of really shows as well in the support of our community that has grown. Um, I think even doubled or if not tripled in size since the beginning of last year. Um, and and all in all, it also shows in the amount of the growth of our team. We're constantly having interviews with new candidates for various positions, which means that kind of we are growing. We internally are growing as well. People, members of our team, are kind of uh, growing into more into higher roles as well, as we are taking in new members into the team. So trying to promote internally as well as grow with external new members. And I think
Have the
that kind
number
of
of
all.
our members in our team have grown 100%, 100% over the past year?
Um, yeah, maybe even more, right? We're
More
now
than doubled, huh?
close. Yeah, we're now close to 30 people, and we just recently had our latest addition to the team. So not well, Fergus. We've talked with Fergus, and you had a great chat with him. Um, uh, but as well, we now have a head of a regional hubs manager in our team, and we will be presenting him officially quite soon. So I will not go and spoil Julia's announcement in this block chat, but let's leave it to the marketing team. But I'm really happy because it's somebody from that comes from again from our community, and it shows that we have high quality people in our community who are willing to step up and take more responsibility, which kind of again shows the direction that we're building this in a true decentralized organization. Whether it's going to become autonomous, that's for the future to see, right? To see what the future holds. But um, being an organization driven and community driven organization, it's has been our focus since the day one, and I'm really glad to see that this is kind of unfolding in this direction.
It's interesting what you said now, and we definitely will talk about it in a different chat. Uh, Decentralized organization, not sure how autonomous will it be. So I'll hold that on for a different chat, not to eat up the time of this chat with this. However, that's something very interesting because it resembles um, few theories and phenomena, and how we look at them and understand the world around us and our business to that extent. Um, Dennis, you mentioned that some of the highlights were the growth, but tell me challenges that were highlights, challenges that we hit, barriers that we hit, and were a real hurdle to cross.
Um, well, yeah, I think there's always challenges, and um, maybe our minds are wired in a certain way to kind of be able to only remember the good parts of history, right? And we kind of maybe easily forget, the challenges that we had to overcome. Um, but I think there's obviously in what we're doing, the main challenge was signing up new marketplace operators. I think that was challenge number one because it's one of the most important things that need to happen for Blocksquare to thrive. We need to get marketplace operators willing to do business using our technology, do business for themselves, obviously, which drives supply and demand together through operations of marketplaces. And these companies not only need to have the mindset of launching a new business, but as well overcoming certain challenges that might be as well regulatory and so forth. And I think here we've done a great job in terms of the sales team and how how the funnel is now being executed, and we see this in more leads coming towards a point where they are deciding more in a positive way, or the sales cycle, if you will, is shortening. So it means that marketplace operators are getting closer and closer to launching their online shops, right? And for us as well, being able to iterate this process faster, which means that we can really now aspire from growing. Let's say that the aspiration from last year to end of this year was to grow from 3 to around 10, maybe, marketplace operators, and we've hit this target. um, and now the next goal for next year would be to grow into an ecosystem of around 30 marketplace operators, maybe even more. We don't know, but obviously, I'm trying
Most
to
importantly, active. Most importantly, active, because it's
exactly.
very easy to sign up marketplace operators, but it's
Yes,
what's most important for us is that the marketplace operator can really benefit from the technology, and as
exactly.
well as have we've canceled marketplace operators because they didn't have the same ethos, and because they wanted to tokenize what looks like air, without mentioning any names, obviously. But we
Yeah.
need marketplace operators who are part of the same ethos and who represent the same aspirations that we do represent. And that's why, yes, 10 to 30 is a great job. And here, a shout out to the whole team, especially Yuri, who've put in so much effort over the past few months to sign up marketplace operators. And I believe we've had some great successes, which is cool, as well as to all other members of the team who um, engage in the process on a weekly basis to make it all running. So yes, you see Dennis, you see myself most of the time, but there's too many individuals who are very hardworking team members, same heart, same soul, uh, looking towards every single development, and that's how we get the positive news to you, and we cross the challenges. And as Dennis said, we forget them after we pass them, or we file them, we book them there, and we move on from there because you crossed them already. So Dennis, we've grown the team, we've grown the number of marketplace operators. Have we had any successes additionally on tokenized property and on sold properties with public offering that have achieved some sales?
Yeah. Yeah, we've saw marketplace operators this year launch offerings and successfully conclude them. So I think that's one of the milestones there. We've had the achievement, let's say, that we've grown the total value of assets under tokenization quite substantially. I think we've quadrupled it from end of last year. I think, and the most important part is that the funnel has become much more decentralized. So let's say that if we started with our network of people in real estate, from yourself or Julia and so forth, um, and myself, and then it grew into something that kind of organically started bringing new real estate assets. And now, uh, towards the end of the year, we've seen marketplace operators starting to bring their first tokenized real estate assets to their marketplaces, and starting organizing offerings. And so, for instance, there's a marketplace operator from Panama who is now at their second offering. There's a marketplace operator from the UK that is pre-launched officially, but they're bringing a um, elderly or assisted living facility, I believe, as their first offering, worth around 1.1 or 1.3 million pounds. Um, then there's one of the, if you remember, Fibre Tokenization Challenge 2021, I believe. Um,
2020
they're
or
one of
2021?
21 or 22. But it was not
Okay.
23. It was from
So it's
before.
2021 then, 2021.
Yes, exactly. And they're one of the winners, um, who is still with us, a marketplace operator from Spain, is launching their first offering officially. And I think that's all kind of positive, great news. It means that people are actually starting to use more and more the tech that we're bringing to them. Yeah.
Perfect. So today we have more decentralization in the offerings, in the parties who are tokenizing property. Obviously, the number of marketplace operators have grown. Public offerings have been successful, and members or marketplace operators are launching a second and hopefully a third very soon. And which is very important because it creates that dynamism within the ecosystem. Yeah, you do not want one party to control that. You do not want one asset every year. You want tens but hundreds of assets every year that go there, which gives variety and gives that diversity and allows people to have a choice. Now, that's all great. We have reached the end of 2023, and obviously, as a company, and we've done one block chat about that matter, Blocksquare, the company, we are at the end of the day a company, a commercial entity, yeah, behind this.
Yes.
As a
Yes.
company, we are a technology infrastructure provider. How have our technology developed, and where are we in terms of technology? Because that's very important. That's the base of our product offering. Yeah, where are we there?
I mean, in terms of technology, we've improved our ability to deliver a marketplace. In our sales pitch, we a lot of times say that it requires us 2 weeks. Our clients expect it to be somewhere under a month. In reality, we can do it in one day. Um, so that's kind of, I think, a big improvement on our end. We've developed
Guys,
product
just for
teams.
those who are listening, we can do it in one day if we stop everything, every team member, whatever they're doing, and do it. But this is not something that we can do as a company. So just to manage expectations. Okay.
Of course, it's possible to do it. The capability is there. It's not fully automated, the process. It also requires some involvement from our customer, especially when it comes to deployment under a custom domain. But what I'm saying is that this can be achieved. So if we would put effort in, if the market would show a requirement of creating one marketplace a day, we could either or go in the direction of supporting this from a tech perspective. Um, Now, in terms of development teams, I think how we structured um, uh, the composition of the team with Victor, I think it's really good now because it allows us continuous development on each product that we have in our product line. And we have, besides the smart contract system and the marketplaces platform, we have Ocean Point, we have a back office admin, we have a Blocksquare admin. So these are products that are, maybe visible or not so much visible to the community member, the everyday community member of ours, I would say. And what we managed to create is separate teams for each product that also kind of collaborate interdisciplinary when needed. Um, and this means that there's constant development on each front. Um, a year ago, I would say our biggest challenge was because we launched Ocean Point in 2022 at the beginning of the year, but it meant like every iteration of Ocean Point, the whole team would start working on Ocean Point and would need to leave the marketplace a bit aside, right? And then it would shift from one project to the other to the third. And this would then create situations where we would get customer feedback that we would not be able to act upon quickly. Now we can do that in the same week, in the same day. We can implement fixes or something new, and depending obviously on the severity and the priority. But this is all possible because we have structured the team in this way.
Cool. So we have developed on a team ability to use the tech and to deploy the tech. However, what has developed in our tech? What new versions have we launched over the past year? And what are we very close to launch soon?
So here you're probably referring mainly to Ocean Point, right? And
Yeah.
the versions that we've been iterating through. So we've, I believe, started the year with launching the liquidity
Version 03?
version 03, the liquidity staking, right? And there we grew quite substantially. I think we now have more than 1 million worth of liquidity locked in, or is it 1.4? I don't know. We would need to check where
Yeah.
we are today. We've also kind of have the tokens market cap is lingering somewhere around 10 million, maybe 13 at times, maybe 8 at times. It depends, obviously, but we're there somewhere. So still a lot of volatility, which signals that there's still a lot of opportunity, I would say. And then we've launched version 04, where we allowed the community to purchase BSPT, so property tokens on marketplaces, and stake those tokens to earn BST in exchange for forfeiting the 7-8% revenues that usually properties generate, and those proceeds are accumulating and will be executed by the governance board at a certain points in time to buy back BST and burn them from the supply. And then we're close to launching version 05. We
Which everyone's waiting
announced that
for.
this would be happening before New Year. However, we have delayed it a bit. There were some challenges, I would say, from a technical perspective that needed to be resolved a bit. There were as well some things that happened in the development cycle that were not directly related with version 05, but that people maybe don't see. So when you're developing in blockchain, you have, for instance, test environments, right? Because testing on mainnet is expensive, so you have test nets, and Ethereum has a test net called Gurley, and before that there was a test net called Kovan. And last year we migrated from Kovan to Gurley, and now towards the end of this year we had to start migrating from Gurley to Sepolia, a new testnet. And this migration needs to be done, but at the same time you might certain applications or certain systems are not supporting Sepolia yet. Anyways, long story short, there's always some things in the back that also require attention, and so you can't go 2 steps forward without doing 1 or 2 steps
One
back
step
first,
backwards. Yeah.
and backwards to set the basis right, so that everything works there, and then you can continue where you left future development. And that's what happened with the launch of version 05. Then December came. It was not a good timing to do it. So now January is where we expect version 05
So wait
to
for
launch.
version 05 in January, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. A second thing here, we are, Dennis mentioned the liquidity staking. We're an inch above 1 million today. Okay. And that is not the peak. We've peaked at quite substantially higher, and then it fluctuates, but we are sustaining 1 million, which is very good, which is very good. Dennis, the year passed with those achievements, and now we look at a new year where we are set to, and then that's one of the main important elements and achievements of last year, is that we are set to growth on multi dimensions and multi levels for the coming year. We are set to grow right on the institutional level. We are set to grow right on retail. We are set to grow right with many new products like tokenization and other exciting stuff that are there.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that. What are we set up to do for the coming year?
Um, well, here we have, you mentioned a couple of things, and basically we see that Blocksquare can really be the centerpiece of for tokenized real estate. We can support the market in various ways. Tokenization of real estate is one of the things that we have solved, and we're actively um, offering these solutions on the market. But there's other solutions that we are able to build to help this ecosystem grow, because it requires various types of products, right? That the consumers or the end users will need. And one of those is, for instance, Tokenlytics, where we aim at providing, or where we are providing, we have the system that can provide insights into the underlying real estate, and be able to assess risk for investors. To look into when they're assessing an investment into tokenized real estate. And this is a product that is much useful not only for companies in our ecosystem, but even though it was designed first for the Blocksquare ecosystem, but it can be used outside of it as well with different tokenization systems.
And here, a call to our head of risk, Daniel.
Yes.
You need to talk to Daniel, guys. You will see someone with an edge of knowledge, a multidimensional edge of knowledge, someone who comes from the banking industry, investment banking industry, landed at Blocksquare, part of our community. But if you talk to him real estate, you will find someone who understands the multi dimensions of real estate as well, which is very important. And uh, Tokalytics represents that knowledge and much more in a structured manner.
We're here with Tokenlytics. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. So we've been working past couple of months, preparing various partnerships around Tokenlytics, with companies that see the need in transparency, in a tokenized real estate world. And we'll be having much more discussions around this topic in the first quarter of next year. So anyone following us can expect a lot of, I would say, discussions on social media, on blogs and Twitter Spaces, etc., around the topics of transparency in RWA.
So you're expecting Jan, something big is coming. People have been waiting for it for a pretty long time now. First quarter, again, a part of Feb or March, something else is coming here that will add transparency and give more data and knowledge to involved parties. At the same time, it extends way beyond the Blocksquare network. The target for us is to impact the industry in a good way, because today, impacting every member of the industry and every stakeholder the right way is impacting all of us together in a positive manner, is in empowering everyone. And then we have our reach and our build up, because we've built up for that with the institutional reach that is coming in 2024, where you will see achievements happening and you will see KPIs hit and you will see things developed on a quarterly level. Yes, we used to be targeting this before. It showed in our involvement with multiple parties, from LBBW to several other organizations. However, today we have a department targeting that. So, in other words, the approach is structured now, and there is decisiveness from our side on where do we want to get with that, with the institutional approach, because we believe that institutions have the reach, have the credibility. If we align the technology and the know-how with the reach and the credibility, I believe we will be able to achieve much. At the same time, on a retail level, we'll have many more marketplaces. Our pipeline now is filled with marketplace operators that are excited to operate tomorrow, not in a year, not in 2 years, but excited to operate immediately. And we're facing things in a way where the right parties get access to the technology the right way, so that what is launched is meaningful to everyone, including every single member of the community and beyond the new members of community that will be added. We are also on a retail level um, here have launched something that is very important, that takes real estate local, and it's very important to understand all the time that real estate is very local with a global approach, and getting every single member of our community to be able to work with other members of other communities to make them one big community. And here, with our ambassadors and with the regional hubs and the impact that we can create on economies, local economies, I mean, and create new marketplace operators and supported marketplace operators. Imagine that you're a marketplace operator that has a support of a regional hub that is an active regional hub, an active community. That's great. That's amazing. So this is part of our reach for the coming year. Technology, impact on ground, an economy that's growing on a retail level, on institutional level, trustworthiness, credibility, and more transparency through tokalytics. This is what is built all through 2023 and is coming in 2024. Is there anything that we missed, Dennis, all through what we discussed today?
No, I think we mentioned, or we hit on, or mentioned the main points here, in terms of what we achieved. We've grown in the team. We've grown in terms of tokenized real estate. We've grown in terms of market cap. We've grown in terms of treasury, which means our financial situation is really good, and it means that how we've structured Blocksquare financially on its operation, it's sustainable for now. It shows that we have runway in front of us, and it means that we're becoming more and more independent, more and more, or breaking even, let's say, or even positive as a company. And I think this is all signs that we're doing things the right way. Um, you mentioned Jure. One thing that he mentioned, well, in a recent conversation we had, is that he was reading this article about um, unicorns. In the startup world, the unicorns, the 1 billion valuation companies that grow from yesterday to, in a couple of months, they do an IPO almost, right? Um, and there's another trend on the market, and it's called camels. And the difference is that unicorns, grow fast, run fast, and they're these magical animals, while camels are built to survive the toughest environments. And I think Blocksquare is kind of turning into, um, I would say, more of a camel shape, but maybe with a
A
unicorn,
small horn.
for small grown, corn being grown in the front, right? But definitely we've survived three bear markets, and we're actually thrived throughout 2023. We've thrived throughout this market, and imagine if there's even more wind in our sails. So I really can't wait for 2024 to see what's going to happen throughout the next year. And yeah, happy to be in the situation we are today.
It's um, it's amazing to be in such a situation, in my opinion, with a team that is homogeneous, that talks the same language, although we talk many languages. We are spread all over the world. However, um, it's an amazing community. We come to you in a season of jolly and I believe a year of challenges that have been conquered. And it's a reason to be happy. If you're a member of the Blocksquare community, thank you so much for all your support, effort, conviction. And I would need to stress on conviction because the level of conviction you had through the tough times, because 2021 was a tough year. 2022 was, in my opinion, a very tough year in some parts of it. 2023 was an easier year. But thankfully, it's easier because we've built up. And this is very important. It's important in your lives if you are developing your personal finances and your personal situation. It's very important that every year is a development from the year before, regardless of what's the situation around you. So tomorrow may be a recession or a crisis or a disaster, God forbid, but you're still developing in a positive manner. And that's very important. And this is what we've done at Blocksquare. We have never overpromised. We've always hopefully over-delivered. When we talk about a small delay here or there in tech, delay is what defines generally tech processes and innovation, but not with us. So a delay is an exception. That's why we talk about it, and that's why we put it. I wouldn't say delay is an exception because we've delayed on several of the versions, but delay is logical. It's not a delay of a few years. It's not a delay because we have not started right. It's a delay because we want to finish it right. It's a delay because we want every smart contract to be audited. We have Hacken audits our smart contracts, the top level auditing firm in the world. And we want this to be part of our solid environment. And this is very important for all of you and for all of us. So we take the responsibility very dearly. I would thank you all, thank every single member of our team. Thank you, Dennis. It has been, how long have we been doing block chats for now? Today is 74, yeah?
Is it 74? Is it 75?
75.
But
You know what?
75.
It's 70, it's
75.
75.
It's
Um,
okay. So it's 75 every year is what, 52? Is
52
it
weeks.
52 weeks, right? So yeah, so that's a year and a half in a way.
I believe we've
But
been doing it for
I,
longer because we weren't doing it consistently in the beginning, isn't? Or we skipped a few weeks probably here and there.
I think we had it on a weekly level, on a weekly, right? And then at one point we started doing it on a bi-weekly, right? So every
Bi-weekly.
2 weeks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Every two
yeah.
weeks, right? And I think since we moved to every 2 weeks, it's a bit easier to manage, I would say. So I'm really thankful that we did this shift from every week into every
But
second
now
week.
it's every week again, and it's every week again now. However,
No,
the
no, it's every second week, Makram.
we are
But
recording every
time
week.
runs fast. You think it's every week, but it's every second week.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's pleasant doing it, and we're enjoying it. And yes, we I feel that we're recording every week. Yeah.
The thing is
So
that
we
the bear market is slowly waking up into maybe a bullish type of market. And time runs faster in bull markets. So you're gonna see
yeah.
2024 go like
Let's hope that 2024 goes like this, and after it is 2025 and days after. Thank you
yes.
so much for being with me today and all through Block Chat. Everyone, thank you for all your efforts and all your conviction. Dennis, do you have a last word before we say
No,
goodbye?
I wish everyone very happy last days of this year and spend them with the people you love. That's it.
Enjoy a 2023 ending and a 2024 to come. Have a pleasant day and a pleasant few days to end this year.